Bez, good morning. Good to see you. Uh, I don't know about you, but I did not sleep very well last night because the Kansas Jayhawks and Allen Fieldhouse gave us an absolute game to remember. Kansas beats TCU 104 to 100 in one of the craziest games I have ever seen. It was absolutely unbelievable, Bez. Do you have any just first reactions to what in the heck we just witnessed before we get into this madness?
All I have to say, the Allen Fieldhouse magic is back, Sam. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted this year, and we got it.
I just still can't believe, Bez, that with 5 minutes left on the clock, there were Kansas fans leaving Allen Fieldhouse. Like,
Thumbs down.
have you not been to Allen Fieldhouse before?
Probably not. They would have never left if they had. I'm serious. I mean, how this is not the first time it's happened. It's not even the 10th time this has happened. Come on, guys. Get in your seats.
It was absolutely unbelievable. The second that people started walking out, I was like, Kansas is gonna do it. Kansas is gonna do it. I don't know about you, Bez, but there was honestly never a moment in my mind where I thought Kansas was done in this game, besides besides whenever the one guy made both free throws to go up 87 82. Let's kind of walk through here what in the world was going on. All right. Kansas was down with 438 remaining. Kansas was down 15. Technically, with 4:21 on the clock, Kansas was still down 15 because Flory gets that tip in. So Kansas is down big, roars back. Uh, I think it was at the 234 mark is whenever the whole Darren Peterson situation happens, right?
Mhm.
And going back and looking, the reason Peterson wasn't looking whenever that ball came to him is because he was trying to take himself out of the game. He basically right before he motioned to the bench, and that was while Melvin was still driving, going downhill, and he clearly looked hobbled. Obviously, Melvin misses it. It gets like punched out or whatnot, goes back to the backcourt, and Peterson's still trying to motion, to the bench that he needs to be taken out, and El Marco throws it to him. We'll get into that whenever we get into Peterson in a second. Uh, Kansas at that point had turned the ball over, and they're still down 10. All right. Then Trey White hits a huge shot, makes it 85 76 with, or sorry, yeah, Trey made a big shot, and then TCU comes down and hits that three to make it 85-76 with 115. Looking back on the broadcast, John Shambi goes, dagger.
Dead dagger. He did. He
Then
did.
Jamari comes down, bangs a three, like literally no thought whatsoever, bangs a three. It's 85-79. Kansas fouls. The guy misses the front end. Melvin just, he's so fast, Bez. So fast. Gets down the court and one. All the beware of dog signs were showing up across Allen Fieldhouse, which is awesome. Then that Harding guy travels, but he doesn't get called for it, which was
Mm-hmm.
absolutely insane. Uh,
Right.
Kansas fouls with 27.6 seconds left. Uh, and he misses the front end again. Trey White, uh, comes back. He actually misses the three, right? And Kansas ended up fouling with 12.5 seconds left. Whenever it was 85-82 TCU. You think the game's over. I'm not even going to try to say the guy's last name with the L on TCU. but he hits both free throws. It's then 87-82 TCU with 12.5 seconds left. That was the moment that I thought Kansas was done. But then, of course, Melvin flies down the court again. He misses. Flory tips it in. It's a 3-point game with 6.1. TCU ball. TCU can't get it in, calls timeout. Then they turn it over on the out of bounds. KU gets a last look. Darren Peterson comes in. They run a little flare screen for him, and TCU fouls. Darren makes the free throws, and then overtime was overtime. And TCU threw it long too, and ended up giving KU a look on the baseline, which was really, really dumb by
That was the
TCU.
stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life, Sam. I was cackling laughing. That was so dumb.
Yeah, we just went through all of that. It was absolutely insane, Bez. Like I'm trying to think of like the Houston game last year,
Hmm.
what was probably equally as insane.
Hmm.
And then the West Virginia game, uh, 2017, Kansas was down 64-50 with 3 minutes left. Pretty similar, honestly. But as Bill Self mentioned in the post game, that team, that Kansas team that did that against West Virginia was a 1 seed and one of the best teams in the country. This team is unproven and just stormed back and gave us one of the greatest comebacks ever. At the 5:06 mark, second half, whenever it's 81 66, Kansas had a 0.9% chance to win per ESPN's, little graph. It was 3% at 85-76 with 114 to play. And then with 6 seconds left at 87-82, there's a 1% chance. Three different times KU had little to no chance to win the game, and Kansas wins the game.
Magic. Allen Fieldhouse magic, Sam. That's what it is. I mean, these are the types of games in the past 2 years that you and I have come on this show and said Kansas used to win these games. These are the types of games that growing up, Kansas would just pull out. It would be amazing. Whether it's missed free throws down the stretch or a dumb turnover, or I mean, in all of those games you mentioned, you forgot the Ochai Texas Tech game, by the way,
Yeah.
which
Yep.
was also completely insanity. But in all of those games, it's the press in the last minute or two that Kansas puts on, and teams cannot get the ball across half court because you, as an underdog in Allen Fieldhouse, like TCU was, and props to Jamie Dixon, he's actually in a totally rare circumstance has been here before. He's actually beaten Kansas in Allen Fieldhouse, so he kind of does know what it takes. But unfortunately for him, he can't inbound the ball. His kids have to inbound the ball. And when you're
Bez,
the
you
underdog,
know what they did?
what?
They tried not to lose.
That's exactly right, Sam.
I
They
went
tried
back
not
and
to lose.
watched. There was a couple of times. I think it was whenever I think they TCU at one point had a 2-on-1 uh, to go up 11. I think it was, and TCU pulls the ball out, and like Bez, TCU played not to lose. And I think that is what, and I think that's why Jamie Dixon was kind of putting it all on himself in the post game
Mhm.
because I mean that's kind of what TCU did. How many times over the last couple of years has Lance Leipold done something like that?
Right, right. I mean, it just when you're wearing the dark color jersey in that building, man, and even walking into it, even if you've convinced yourself that your team has a chance, when you look up and there's 2 minutes left and you're up double digits in Allen Fieldhouse, it's almost like a weird, you psych yourself out a little bit. Like, oh my gosh, we're actually about to do this. And then you start to press, everything gets a little tighter. The rim, when you go to shoot your front end of the 1-and-1, it gets real, real small with the
Brock
with the
Harding looked terrified, Bez. He looked
right.
absolutely terrified.
And it just it's how it always used to happen is the teams go up, there's a minute left, they're up 8 or 9, Kansas starts to press, play starts to go bonkers, And the opposing teams always got, oh, we're going to get screwed by a call at some point in the back of their heads, even though it's not true and it didn't even come close to happening last night, but you're still thinking about it. There's just so many different factors outside of, hey, you need to step up and make this free throw. Like, yes, but there's also 10 other things going on in your head about the actual moment that you're in. And that's why teams like UConn, teams like Houston, championship level teams with championship level coaches, they're able to withstand that. And they can pull out a tight one in Allen Fieldhouse. But teams like TCU, they don't have guys who've won championships. They're not a perennial tournament team every year. Love Jamie Dixon, but he's not a top dog, right? So when that stuff, when it starts to get close, I mean, TCU needed to go and go and go. They needed that lead to get at least to 20 before they even felt comfortable. They didn't feel comfortable down the stretch. They were thinking the same things we were. Everybody in that building was just kind of waiting. Okay, when's that first three going to drop and when's that first turnover going to happen? Because once that does happen, everybody stands up, nobody sits the rest of the game. Every call is important, everything is loud, every free throw seems like it's worth 20 points. That's a lot for a non-championship caliber team to withstand. And it just the magic happened, man.
Darren, he had a lot of big shots too.
Really did.
To be honest, like I forget exactly what the score was, but whenever TCU was on that 18-3 run,
Hmm.
uh, Darren hits that little mid range and kind of calms things down, and then he hit the three, I think, to cut it to 12. Uh, yeah, he cut it to 12 at 75 63. And if that three doesn't fall, like there's just so much that had to go right
Yeah.
for Kansas to win this. And Marco Jackson, Bill Self said after the game that he probably deserves MVP for the just absolute ball pressure, everything that he was, putting on display in that last couple of minutes. Marco ended up finishing with 5 steals, which is pretty cool to see, and he could be Candace's best defender for sure. Could be that type of guy. He kind of showed that in this game. Let's talk about Peterson, Bez, because I feel like it's important to talk about. Uh, Bill Self said before the game on pregame radio. Uh, let me find the exact quote here. Yeah, on pregame radio, Self basically said, quote, nobody is as frustrated as he is that his body just hasn't cooperated. And he said that he's going to keep grinding and just kind of work through it. And 32 points in 32 minutes, Bez. I get he finally made it to the end of regulation.
Barely.
Still was not on the court at the final buzzer. Darren Peterson still has not made it to the final buzzer on the court for Kansas this season, but he did make it to the end of regulation, which is a positive. And then, of course, we talked about uh, that whole play of him motioning to come out. I do want to talk about that first. You can't you can't do it. What like I get you motion to the bench. That's cool, like everything. After that first motion, there's a play happening, Darren. Like you gotta focus up. Like you really do. So that's really the only knock that I'll have on Darren. But guys, he's clearly hobbled in some way, shape, or form, and he played 32 minutes and scored 32 points. And there are still people out there who are upset about it. Guys, he played 32 minutes in Allen Fieldhouse. This is the second time he's played in Allen Fieldhouse this year. And I seriously, Bez, this is speculation, obviously. Uh, I don't even think I don't think that Darren knows what's wrong. I don't think the medical staff knows what's wrong. Bill Self knows what's wrong. And maybe that's why the messaging has been so, weird about this. Like, I don't even think they actually know exactly what is wrong with Darren Peterson's legs, right? They're just not holding up right now.
He
but
he was tugging at his shoulder too last night. That
yeah,
was hurt a month ago or something.
like he's battling through it. He is battling through it now. It is Big 12 play, and he is trying to play. He's going out there like, come on, guys. Like yeah, I get why people are frustrated because you watch him score 32 points in 32 minutes, and he did not play his best game, Bez. That was not the best Darren Peterson can be, and he's still hobbled, and he just did that. So that's why fans are so frustrated. I get it because there's a guy on Kansas who could probably average 30 points per game and can't just figure it out. But he's a warrior, and I don't know if you saw the video of him on Instagram Live from
Mhm.
last night. It is clear that this team loves him, is rallied around him. That's all I got, Bez. I know that was kind of a little bit of a soapbox, but
No, dude, it's DP, man. And by the way, I think from watching it back, I think he thought there was a backcourt violation happening when he asked to come out, which is why he turned around. Now, 2 more seconds to wait for the whistle, Darren, would be preferred on that one, but I get it. But that moment for me was the moment I was like, oh no, this is gonna, because I'm like, oh, it's gonna get real restless in here. I was a little worried there'd be some booze.
if
Like,
if Kansas loses,
we're
Bez,
down
that
11 with 2.5
video
minutes.
if
Yeah.
Kansas loses, that video is like that's the video of the season. That literally like pretty much is like, yeah, Kansas basketball this year, that's the
Yep.
video.
Yep. 100%. But I mean, he is the best individual talent to ever put on this jersey. I don't think it's debatable. The game is so freaking easy for him. I mean, it is, and there was he missed a three in the first half, and Shambi was like highly contested there. I'm like, it doesn't matter, John. He could have five guys in his face. It's the same shot for him. He just missed it. He might as well have been wide open. It literally doesn't matter. He can get to the rim whenever the hell he wants. He had a drive in the first half where he kind of snaked around, then left hand misses this one. And there were three guys open on the perimeter. And I'm like, oh, he could have kicked that. And then I was like, yeah, but he also could have went to the rim whenever the hell he wanted to. So he does not have to kick that if he
He,
doesn't
he
want
was
to.
he was like everything was like left hand for him
Yeah,
yesterday
they took away his
driving.
right. They kept icing him towards they tried to funnel him into those corners, and then he would just reverse course, and then the left was all offense
That
he had.
that
But
double team split
split
and
was
one
and one was crazy.
Bez, and that and the Trey White two step back threes
In the first
were
half,
two of the crazier plays from yesterday. I thought that was uh I mean Trey White, what does he finish with, 20 points in this one?
he's so solid, man.
22 points, 8 of 14 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3, 5 rebounds. I mean Trey White had another really good game. Flory honestly was not his best.
He was bad until the
He
end
only
of
had at one point, like late in the second half, he only had 2 rebounds, and
it was
then
really
whenever
bad.
Flory decided, oh hey, like I'm gonna rebound the ball, Kansas ended up doing well. 16 and 9 for Flory. Melvin, 5 of 15 from the field, but he had 18, 8 assists, 6 rebounds, and seriously, Bez, he is so fast. I don't think like these late game situations, Kansas is
Yeah, it's kind
literally
of a cheat
saving
code.
themselves
Kind of a
precious
cheat code.
seconds because of Melvin
You could
Council.
just grab the 2 points back within 3 seconds because he just gets down the floor and scores.
It's insane. It's
Unbelievable.
insane how fast he can get up and down the court. And the times that he did it, like Kansas doesn't win the game without Melvin Council and his speed. Like
Kansas doesn't win the game without Melvin Council or without Trey White or without Flory Badunga down the stretch. Like the conversation will be about Peterson as it should be, but the complementary pieces around him. If he is not 100% healthy, it can look bad at times. And there are times when he checks out and Kansas looks completely lost for two straight possessions, even though We just did this for an entire month or two where you didn't have him, so I don't know why that's happening. Another thing coming out of last night that's not going to be discussed but should be by us is it time to worry about Bryson Tiller. That was his worst game of the season last night, and
I'd argue UCF was worse.
I don't know. They were both, I mean, he has not got a good start to conference play at all. Bill couldn't even have him on the floor down the stretch. Now, matchup wise, Punch was kind of their only bigger guy, and Kansas was switching all five the entire game anyway. So you really didn't need him out there for any type of size because it was eventually just going to be the same thing. Honestly, probably better off to go a little smaller to be able to switch the five easier. But even when he was in, he couldn't hit a shot. He got blocked at the rim multiple times. He was missing box outs. Flory was missing box outs. Even just like a late shot clock, super deep three from TCU that misses and they get the offensive rebound. Why are you guys just running like 10-year-olds to go under the rim and stare at it? You have been taught your entire lives to find a body before you go to the rim. And they just weren't. It was so bizarre. It was genuinely until Flory started to pick it up down the stretch in the second half. One of the worst front court games I've ever seen from a Bill Self team in Big 12 play. I mean, it was super uncharacteristic for his front court guys to be kind of that useless until now. Flory down the stretch and in overtime was super active around the rim, and Kansas needed that to win the game. But Kansas is a guy short. You and I have said this for a while now, but it's very, very evident Kansas is a guy short. It's not going to be Rosario. He's not ready yet. That's okay. He's just not ready yet. As much as we love Jamari and Elmarco and as many good things that they've done for us, they are not top six rotation guys on a championship team. They're just not. Their ceilings just aren't that high for the players that they are. Elmarco's is a little higher than Jamari, but Elmarco's floor is way lower than Jamari's floor, right? They're just very nice pieces. That should be the seventh, eighth, or ninth best guys on your team. You cannot play one of those two guys 28 plus minutes and be a championship level team unless Darren just loses his mind, which could very well happen. But they're just a guy short. So it goes back to my point at the beginning of the year. I don't think this is, I mean, every season's championship or bust. I get it. But going to the Final Four or the Elite Eight would be a really, really good thing for this program right now. You have got to get back going this way. So
Yeah.
that's why at the beginning of the year, I'm like, Elite Eight would be great. This team's going to be really fun to watch. We're going to love how they play and just enjoy it. And last night was the definition of that. That Kansas comeback was old school KU, old school Allen Fieldhouse. It was super fun to watch. But waking up this morning, I don't think that's a championship level team. And I'm kind of okay with it. I'm kind of okay with it because you've got the guy, you've got the conversations around the program. Kansas is back in the national media, and go make a run in March. You don't have to go all the way. I would love you to.
I'm a push back, Bez. I'm a push back.
Push
I
back
don't
on them.
This team doesn't know how to play with a generational talent yet.
That's fair. That's
I
fair.
I I think the best Kansas we're yet to see. I mean, Kansas defensively, the past two games. I mean, this was what the seventh best defense. Kansas, I think, is down to 12 now, in Ken Palm, and I think part of that is but with Darren coming in there, they're so connected as a group defensively. Not that Darren is like a worse defender than anybody, but just that connectivity. Kansas is still trying to work on. Bez, I don't know. The five that Kansas can put out there with Darren, I'm putting up against when if Darren can figure this out and at least like let's say February, the month of February, the Darren Peterson, like there is no leave early, there is no this, there is no that, right? It's just we're playing basketball now. I think if you give this team the month of February beyond to figure it out, I don't know. Sky's the limit. Honestly,
I don't disagree with that.
I'm still like this team. Whenever you have the best player on the floor every game, and that player is a guard in college basketball, I think you can win any game. I think Kansas could win six in a row still if
I
if Darren Peterson is going to be healthy. Now there's a lot of things to clean up. Bryson Tiller, you're right. Bryson Tiller kind of
It's not,
needs to look in the mirror and figure things out.
not good right
Uh,
now.
Kansas, honestly, two Big 12 games in a row. What did UCF do against Kansas defensively? Attack switches, and mainly I would say attack the bigs off the switches. TCU almost kind of did the opposite. TCU attack switches, but attack Kansas's guards, right? So there's some things to figure out there. I
That was kind of my whole
rebounding,
point. The
yeah,
switching five last night did not work. And
yeah.
that's why Jamari's minutes were kind of limited compared to what he has been playing because he just couldn't help. Like, what's he going to do against Punch? Nothing. But TCU is so well oiled on offense, they can find that mismatch every possession. And Kansas just kept switching five, kept switching five, kept switching five. Which, if that's your identity, that's fine. But it didn't work against TCU. I'm pretty sure BYU and Arizona are going to be able to figure that out too. And those athletes are going to be a little bit tougher to handle.
Yeah. So there's still a lot to fix, and the defensive rebounding last night until that final 2 minutes really was just absolutely atrocious. I mean, at one point, Bez, here, yeah, this is right here in my notes. At the 13:24 mark of the second half, TCU had 11 more offensive rebounds in Kansas. I believe it was 12-1, and 18 more field goal attempts. You know how hard that is, Bez,
It
to
sure
have
felt like it watching it. It
a
sure felt like
team
it.
to have 18 more field goal attempts than you at one point in the game. Like that is absolutely insane to me. How is
Yeah,
that
that's
even
not good.
possible? I
That
seriously don't
that's a
know.
crappy high school basketball game. That's what that is. Like that shouldn't happen.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. All right, we're gonna take a quick break here. We'll come back with some final thoughts on this one. Kind of looking forward here at the rest of Big 12, kind of the next couple of games. We'll be right back.
There is no sport in America that is more difficult to follow than college basketball. It can be overwhelming. That's where the Field of 68 Daily comes into play. The Daily is your go-to source for injury updates, recruiting news, and transfer portal additions that actually matter. For just $50 a year, get access to the same information that your favorite team's coaching staff is subscribed for. Quality content can be hard to find in the college basketball space. The Daily is here to help you with that.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Bez, last night was a very special night in the Kansas basketball community, and I think it was very obvious that somebody was looking down on the game with how absolutely ridiculous it was. If you didn't know, uh, Scooter Ward passed away on Saturday. I believe it was. He was an academic advisor with KU, and uh, if you follow a lot of former players on social media, every single one of them has posted something about it. With Scooter, obviously Kansas held a moment of silence yesterday, and uh, yeah, just Scooter Ward was an icon at Kansas, and has now left us. And uh, Bez, I mean, a crazy game like that in remembrance of him, a comeback. I believe the NCAA David Warlock, he's kind of the NCAA media guy. It was only the 13th time in Division One history a team has come back from down 15 points with under 5 minutes left. And it happens in the tribute game to Scooter Ward. So an incredible life lived, and Kansas fought like heck for him last night, and it was cool to see.
Absolutely. Shout out to Scooter. R.I.P.
All right, we kind of wanted to look forward a little bit now before we wrap up today. Kansas plays West Virginia on Saturday. Uh, West Virginia is kind of rolling right now a little bit. Picked up a big win against Cincinnati. The loss to Iowa State, but everybody kind of loses to Iowa State. I think West Virginia is kind of figuring it out a little bit. They lost to Ohio State. and double overtime. They're really starting to kind of come around. Honor Huff has been really good. So, uh, going to Morgantown is never an easy task. And right now, Ken Palm projects a 69-66 win for Kansas. I think Kansas ends up getting it done. And then Bezdek sets up for next Tuesday, what should be one of the loudest Allen Fieldhouse games in a while because Iowa State rolls into town. And Iowa State is probably going to roll into town if they beat Baylor on the road on today. And then Oklahoma State at home on Saturday. Iowa State will be 16-0 heading into Allen Fieldhouse. It's going to
Yeah,
be a
that's gonna be rock,
madhouse.
man. That's gonna be
That's
rock. I cannot wait for that game. That's gonna be so much fun. Yeah, you gotta take care of business in Morgantown though. And so the goal is to win the Big 12, which that's Bill Self's goal every year. You look at the away games. UCF loss actually doesn't derail the Big 12 season at all because you've got your Arizona, BYU, your Tech, right? UCF's a very good team in that second tier. Kansas can afford one and maybe two second tier losses.
uh,
So
I
that's
think just the one. I
so
think
there's
just
your
the
one.
one.
So there's your one, right? You got to take care of business in Morgantown. If you have any hope at all to go get a Big 12 title again and bring it back to Lawrence, you absolutely have to win on Saturday. And going back to the years and the streak when West Virginia came to the conference really, really good with Bobby, those wins were staples for winning Big 12 titles. Like you go in Morgantown, you essentially clinched it back in the day, right? That's kind of what that feeling was like. Bring that back. We already got that Allen Fieldhouse feeling back. Like it's an old vibe kind of KU team. Go get business done in Morgantown.
Yep. Yeah, Bez, I don't know if you've noticed, but there really are a lot of similarities from this year to the Natty year. I mean, Remy Martin had a weird injury that everybody was freaking out about Bill's messaging for the whole season. Same with Darren Peterson. Uh, Jalen Wilson got a DUI preseason. Joe Dooley got a DUI during the season. That's a
Crazy
similarity.
comp.
Uh,
Crazy comp.
the good portal ads that like are program portal ads like Jalen Coleman Lands, Remy, obviously. Uh, I don't know,
Trey.
Bez. I don't
Yeah.
know. There's some
It's
similarities.
I wish we had three NBA wings like we did on
Yeah,
that.
that would be nice.
That would
That would
be
be
cool,
nice.
right? All guys who are going to play on a second contract as well. Like
Yeah,
you look back at that team, man.
it's a
I don't
good
know
team.
how. I was just thinking about that Kentucky game the other day. They just blew us out, and I was trying to compare what that game this year would be like. Maybe it hasn't happened yet. I hope it has happened already, but they're similar. It's not a bad take.
Well, all right, y'all. That is all we have today. We'll be back sometime after West Virginia and before Iowa State in that little window. So we'll see you guys uh, in about 5 to 6 days or so. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope everybody is recovered from a wild night. Bez, it feels like I'm hungover and
Oh, literally.
just
Yeah.
just from how crazy
That
that
game
that
was
game was, and
drunk, drunk.
obviously was not consuming any booze in Allen Fieldhouse. So uh,
It's all
just
right.
absolutely bonkers game, one that I will remember